This is Solid Snake, and you're listening to Three Black Geeks. So pay some damn attention.
Perfect.
Knox.
Let this black shit occur.
Let this black shit go down. You know what? We had a plan. We, and I say we, I mean more of me and Sue. Had this idea like, hey, would it be awesome as hell if we get to have a show with Rap Critic? I'm like, yeah, man, but that nigga big ballin' a motherfucker, that guy with the glasses. We knew this motherfucker wasn't getting paid, but still, we was like, we have to do a show with homie. Lo and behold, all three of us were going to be in. All three of us were together for what was supposed to be Universal FanCon. As you all know, a fucking meteor hit that thing.
But yet, hold on, a meteor hit it, but yet somehow the banners and flags are still standing.
Now here's my thing.
A meteor of unfortunate events.
You know what the best part about that is, though? We were on ground zero. Put it this way. The meteor hit, and we were sitting there with popcorn and glasses, just watching it all go down. We were on ground zero with that shit. So, just so happened they had, it was a follow-up, the pop-up con called Y Comic Con, where we ran into Rap Critic. I was like, holy shit, this dude is as big as me. But at the same time, I was like glad. So I forgot that that our campuses talk to each other at least like 3 or 4 times or some shit like that. I don't know. But that person that you was mainly talking to was the skinny one, the tall one, my number 2, CJ. And CJ pretty much got the keys to the car so much when it comes to Twitter. Meaning that I don't know what the fuck he does or talk to.
Well, it's not like I sit there and say disparaging remarks like, man, fuck that dude. It's like, come on. Like,
no, I would love it. I can't, like, we only had...
Yeah, I heard you was talking shit.
No, we had people that left us, but it was over, like, simple shit. Like, oh my God, you agree with something I don't agree with. That's normal crap, whatever. So I can trust CJ. Now, one thing I will say, though, we follow a lot of porno girls, nigga. What the hell was that about? That's surprising.
How does it surprise you? It's like
the number is higher than I planned, though. No, but here's what I do, though, Chris. You gonna like this? Every time I was like going through all the people that we follow, and I see the porno girls, and certain girls I see. Here's me, my nigga. But anyway, so here we are. We're about to do a show. What's up to my? Let's say hi. Give this nigga a warm welcome, all that good stuff. Our boy, Rap Critic. How you doing, my brother? How you doing?
Yo, man, doing it, man. Just staying alive, staying black, doing my goddamn thing. I have a special mission though when I'm here. We're not just here to clown around. We got some important business to discuss.
Yes, we do.
A film by the prolific director Spike Lee.
That will happen at some point. I'm just telling you right now. That will happen. That will exactly happen. Trust me. Trust me. Black Klansman will happen at some point because that can go all day. But
I do real quick. I have to give a round of applause to Rap Critic for one thing. You know how they say that black people in the industry, or once you hit big time, you never come out of it clean. Well, Rap Critic managed to get out of Channel Awesome's shenanigans, not just clean, but fucking Mr. Clean.
Look, and what's funny? I feel like no one has brought me up, but I'm fine with that. Like no one's even said, because I was actually one of the first people to leave because I saw the whole thing happening. I was just like, I saw Allison was really talking about it, and I was like, yo, wasn't there some issue a couple of years ago? And I didn't even think about it. It's like, yo, but then I started seeing her talk about, give detail, and I was like, okay, I can't do this. And so...
I'm already picturing you as this is happening. You are grabbing your briefcase, you're grabbing the briefcase, you're grabbing the trench coat and the derby, and you just walked out the door
The
quietly.
funny thing is, I wasn't even in my home's. I wasn't even in Maryland, like at my actual place where this is happening. I was on vacation in North Carolina, and I just opened up Twitter one day, and I was just like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!" Because the thing is, the site, the reality is, the site is more. It's not as unified as people would like to think. Like, there's not like a conglomerate where everybody hangs out at. No, it's an internet thing. And we do collabs every now and then, but like especially me, I was a broke college student for most of my Tigwatig days, so like I'm not exactly going to every event and stuff like that. So I saw people at MagFest, and that was basically the extent of me hanging out with the rest of that crew. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like there is so much stuff that I just don't know about. Just by the point of me being the furthest away from everyone.
Yeah. So we're here today to talk about a one-word situation called beef. And
What's
Yeah.
beef?
yeah,
Beef
what's
is a 4-letter word, motherfucker.
And rap has this weird thing where there's some beef that's like legit, and then there's other beef where I'm like, that happened.
Okay. Actually, if we're gonna talk about it, I got a beef we need to talk about.
All right.
Okay, allow me.
Yes. Please do start.
Pissing me off, and I've been trying to find a way to talk about it. The beef between Rick Ross and 50 Cent.
That was a thing.
Oh my god!
Yeah, Rick Ross and
People
50.
do not talk about that. You know what? The best part about it was that I loved how 50 found ways of making himself look way more street than he needed to be. Because at that point, 50 was like hanging out with cops and shit, and everybody was like commenting on him. He found out that Rick Ross was a fucking CO, and that was like, you know what?
he had the face. What's that dude from Home Alone 2? The Grinch face, you know.
Oh.
When he heard that news, that smile crept across his face.
This motherfucker was a CO. He was a correctional, just Officer Ricky. Now, I will say this. If Rick Ross was any other rapper, he would have been gone.
You know, I remember somebody said if it was any other dude who didn't have his business acumen right, he would be with his bags packed on the side of the road, waiting for the bus, scratching his head, trying to figure out what the hell just happened. Like, if that was any lesser guy, yes.
And you know what? I don't even remember. I remember one song that Rick did, but I hate. You know what? That's the one thing I always hated when it comes to certain beefs, where you could tell that the rapper made that one night. He just smoked weed he chain smoked weed all day, and was like, "Yeah, this is dope enough." So he goes into the studio. One takes it, and you can tell that they one take these fucking diss records sometimes, and that's it. That stands for the diss record. I basically sang a song of nothing. Like, they always open it up with what they got. Then in the middle of the song, it's like,
got 200K on me right now.
all of a sudden, in the middle of the song, not even for 7 bars tops, they talk about that one perfect person, and then they continue the rest of the song, and then a minute later it's over. And I'm thinking to myself, you just rapped over a Metro Boomin beat. There were children not going to eat tonight, and you just wasted a Metro Boomin beat. What the fuck is your problem?
Can I just say that I felt that beef just kind of fizzled out at some point. I'm like,
oh my God. It fizzled out.
I think it just came to a point where it's just like, both of you guys don't have hit records anymore. Why does anyone care? You know what I mean? Like, for real.
To be fair though, I think Rick Ross, if you put him in 50's discography and check, it's like, well, at least Rick Ross is consistent. 50 just after the massacre, I was like, I don't care anymore.
After the massacre, more important albums than Rick, but Rick has had a more consistent career.
Yeah.
But that's kind of unfair because 50 has 5 years on Rick Ross as far as like mainstream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when he came out, man, that shit was explosive. I looked back on the charts in like 2002, 2003, and there was like 1 week where like Ja Rule was the #1 song and 50 was like number 10. And then it was like the next week 50s was number one and Ja Rule's went down, I was just like, man, this beef really happened in real time like that. Like, it was that quick.
Dude, 50 was a straight dickhole to fucking Ja.
I
And it
love
was
that.
so unnecessary. I remember everyone loved Ja Rule. And then the next week, I don't know what the fuck happened.
Yo,
But
it was like Hulk Hogan leg drop on Macho Man with Ja. It's like, god damn, everybody real quick on him.
For me, it was different. Because you know how like when a disaster comes, there's that one person that's way ahead, like miles ahead, that sees it coming. My cousin was at that time big balling because his dial-up modem was faster than everybody else in North Carolina. So all he did was just download music constantly. And the G Unit mixtapes were getting big at the time. And I saw it coming. He was already aiming at Ja Rule. A year before the beef happened, he was already aiming at him. And to basically, like you said, see it in real time, yes, for me it was surreal. Because I saw the wave coming back a year ago. And it just pushed me aside. It was awesome.
How about just how about the fact that Ja Rule was like number one for like damn near a year?
Yeah, it was a whole summer where he had nothing but bops. Like it was like Mesmerized, and then it was, I think Wonderful was like the last one. Yeah, he had the Thug Lovin', that song with Bobby Brown. You know where Bobby Brown is doing Bobby Brown in 2003 all over the track. You know,
coked out Bobby Brown.
Oh my god,
the best Bobby Brown.
Coked out. It was coked out because you can tell because him jumping off the helicopter, I would never forget that shit. Oh my god, you don't understand. I don't remember none of the look, nigga. I don't know none of the rest of the motherfucking video. I know none of the video. I remember that motherfucker hop off that helicopter though. Holy shit!
Okay. No, D. Okay, real talk. Him jumping off the helicopter. I believe that topped that time that he was performing on our own live, and he dropped the freaking Quaalude that had the coke in it, and the way he played it off, I'm just gonna dance right near it, and I'm gonna pick it up on the he just scooped it up and put it back in his pocket, bruh. I'll never forget I'll never forget seeing that years later, because I remember seeing it happen when I was a kid, and I had no idea. I had no. 7-year-old me had no idea what that was he dropped. And of course I look at it now and I'm like, holy shit, he actually dropped.
I swear to God, if that Bobby Brown movie doesn't have that moment in it, it's a fail.
Put that movie out. They are making that movie.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Okay, here's my thing though. I want to go back to the 50 Cent beef, because with all beefs there's an origin, right?
Yeah.
Something had to kick it off. Oh, somebody say something about somebody's mama. What happened? And most of the time it's a misunderstanding. So I decided to go back. There's this website called DJ Booth, and they did sort of like a chronicling of the entire beef, right? Yeah. I'm like, all right, well, let's see what happened in the beginning. 2008 was when things popped off. So March 2008, 50 Cent compliments Rick Ross on his #1 album during an interview, but also warns him not to stand too close to Fat Joe, who was feuding with him in G Unit at the time, alluding that the friend of my enemy is my enemy. So that already is kind of flimsy. Okay, you have beef with Fat Joe, and so you have beef with Rick Ross. All right, how many other people have worked with Fat Joe that you should automatically have beef with? Exactly. So that's not even a thing. But then check this out. During the 2008 BET Awards, Rick Ross saw 50 Cent and did not like the way he looked at him.
You know what? Rap is the only game I know where it's good to be masculine as hell. But be forewarned that men have these, diva-like things that go down.
Right? I'm just like, wait, are you fucking serious?
Hold on. Did you just see Curtis? I know that motherfucker didn't even look at you, girl. He didn't even look at you, girl. I know. Fuck that nigga.
Dude,
Fuck
most of the
we
time-
going to the booth. Look, we going to the booth tonight. Call Justice League. I need a beat, nigga.
Look, most of the time when these rappers are at award shows, don't they wear sunglasses anyway? How the
Most
fuck
of them are.
see?
Yo, not 7. Fuck it. 98% of them are high. I say 98%. I say 98% because I'm just gonna be real with you. Nikki actually is a straight arrow. Anyway.
But and then now here's the next sentence, right? You're thinking like, oh, Rick Ross didn't like the way 50 Cent looked at him. That's weird. Well, what's 50 Cent's take on the subject? 50 Cent would later claim he doesn't remember Rick Ross even being at the award show.
Of course he did it.
It's like, wait. So you mean to fucking tell me this whole beef that's been going on for a goddamn decade started because one guy was like, hey, wait, was he looking at me weird? And then meanwhile the other guy's like, man, I'm high off my ass right now. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Like this beef was all started over. You know how when you're like you're chilling somewhere and nothing's really happening right now and your brain is just kind of on autopilot and you're just kind of looking at a random direction. Yeah, that's what happened. That is this whole beef. I'm convinced that it was just like, hey, I don't like the way he's looking at me in Rick Ross's mind, in 50 Cent's mind. Oh shit, what just happened?
Man, I think that's I think that's Ross. Oh, never mind. That's a part of the stage. Never mind. I'm all right.
Yeah, right. You're just like, shit.
You know what?
This fucking with me.
You know what? That's the thing. The misunderstandings. The misunderstandings. Now I got a question. Would we consider Biggie and Pac a misunderstanding? Because all of that seeped into personal shit, almost professional, and a misunderstanding with who fucked who. I would say with Big and Pac, that was definitely personal. Now you can say, no, I mean it was like super personal, but at the same time, a lot of it was like some calculated stuff that Pac was doing after the fact.
But look at it like this. From what we know, Pac was in jail and heard what's the name of that song? Who Shot Ya?
Yeah.
And in his head, he just thought like, oh, this song must be about me. All right, now fuck him. It was like, that's literally a misunderstanding. Like, you didn't even know. But then again, I could see like someone possibly being in prison and just having that mentality and just thinking, oh, this guy's mocking me because I literally just got shot recently.
Or somebody told Tupac in jail like, yo, I think Biggie talking about you, man. You gotta listen to this, and then boom.
Exactly. I really think it's he said, she said, and then you hear a song that's, Biggie's really good about telling stories, so he gets really intricate, and he just thought like, oh, he's calling me a pussy. He's saying that da-da-da. I really think most of these beefs are just fucking misunderstandings. The Drake and Meek Mill beef. How did it start? Drake, you didn't retweet my album. Are you fucking serious?
Meanwhile, it's like, hey, Wale didn't retweet your album either. You gonna beef with him?
Don't worry, man. You next too.
Yeah.
Hey, you know that's
I
what he
totally own Drake in this beef. You're next.
He next too, motherfucker. I'm gonna take down his whole fucking label. What label was Wale a part of?
That just shows you how forgotten Wale is on his own label.
Wale didn't seem like he did with the MMC group.
Look, y'all not going to disrespect my boy Will, okay? Y'all not going to disrespect him, all right?
No disrespect. Okay, you know what's actually really funny? So a couple of years ago, there was a dude who was going on Twitter exposing all these rappers' tweets that they kind of put out before they were famous. And so he was like, yeah, Kendrick Lamar. I think the big one was Party Next Door. Yeah, because like Party Next Door is like, he was like, oh yeah, you fucking with Drake now, but what about this tweet from 2009 or some shit? And he had said like, yo, I think that Drake track is whack. And so, lo and behold, Party Next Door is not with Drake's team anymore. But then the funny thing was, everyone was like, yeah, so-and-so is shit talk about this person. So-and-so is shit talk about this person. And what about Wale? Yeah, everybody shit talk about Wale. What has Wale said about other people? Actually, he doesn't say anything about anyone. He's actually a genuinely good guy. So I feel so bad for him. It was just like, wait a minute. Like, Wally's actually a good dude.
He is literally that guy, the quiet guy that be beside the bully. You know, the quiet guy that doesn't say nothing. Shut the fuck up, Nelson. Yeah, right. He doesn't do nothing. He just get told to shut the fuck up all the time.
And also, low-key, I think Wale don't want that smoke, so, you know, just saying.
What, with Meek?
No. I'm not talking Meek. I'm not talking Meek. I'm talking if he was just talking shit about just other rappers, period. Taking Meek out the equation.
I don't fucking know. Be honest with you, I don't know. Because Wale, to me, talks a lot of shelf, so I don't really know. But whatever. But with Meek, I will say this, because I really don't feel like going into how just mentally retarded that whole fucking beef was. I don't feel like going into it, but I will say this. It is one of the most hilarious. Because we waited for Meek to put out anything.
Yep.
He put something out, that was the funniest thing ever. That thing was like only 2 bars, and it was like, that was it? Is that it?
And then he used the Undertaker music like he was about to finish Drake's career. Like he was like, "Oh yeah, this is about to get really intense. You're gonna get, oh boy." And then he's just like, "Yeah, by the way, I got more money than you." And get it. It's like, okay, you're not beating Drake on I have more money than you front, dude. He has more hit singles than you. We demonstrably know for a fact he has more cash than you do. Like, you can't do that. You got to do something else.
bro, he had more hit singles than you actually had songs.
Yeah, man, exactly.
This dude, look, the second I heard Jungle Beats, and here's me. He just wasted this fucking beat. I know he did.
Meanwhile, Wale did the fucking Razor Ramon beat and killed it, so it's like...
that shows you who needs to be doing what, man.
Exactly.
But here's my thing. Okay. I always play like now. There's a difference between Pusha T going at you for having ghostwriters, and then there's Meek to me, because Meek saying that. If I was Drake, all right, cool. Ghostwriters, get them. That's what I would do. That's what it feels like to me. Like
Pokemon now, like you go.
You know what I'm saying? With Pusha T, there's some integrity there. You know what I'm saying? At least that's what we tell ourselves, because Pusha T is who Pusha T is. We just think of him and think of lyrical content. We think of, so at that point it'd be more lyrical than actual, look at my motherfucking Rolex, which I always love how Meek always go for his watch. I'm like, dude, it's 2017, nigga. Everybody got a motherfucking cell phone. Why you?
Hey, watch is a classy, sir. All right.
Apple's trying to bring it back, but it's straight up. It's like, baby, it's getting trying to bring it back, huh?
Hey,
I said that to somebody that had a BlackBerry. I'm like, yo, is that a BlackBerry? Like, yeah, you like it? And hell no, you trying to bring that shit back, bro?
No, okay. Me and D were talking about beefs offline, right? So the one beef he brought up that reminded me of how it started, 2 Live Crew and fucking Kid and Play were beefing at one point.
Man, I heard the song. I was listening to I think it was around the time that Fresh Kid Ice died. So rest in peace to him. And I was like going back listening to this discography. I was like, is there really a lot? Is there more to this music than I really gave it credit for at first time? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I came across, this song, the fucking 2 Live Crew did the Kid and Play. And I'm like, yo, this really was a more innocent time. How was Kid and Play beefing with anybody?
No, but the thing of it is, it came because they went on Donnie's Video Soul, and they were just basically like, hey, 2 Live Crew, they just make shock music and stuff. It ain't cool, and it's just, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I mean, yeah, but I think even 2 Live Crew, he ain't wrong, but I think 2 Live Crew knows this already.
Why would they be mad about that? It's like, that we literally named our album as nasty as we want to be. Like, what?
Because it's Luke.
He shouldn't even be mad about that.
Because it's Luke. He's petty, all right? The dude is petty as shit. This is the same dude that sat there and told everybody, if you don't live in Miami, get the fuck out. And it's like, really, dude? Like,
and I'll say this much. He actually made one of the best diss songs of the 90s, and I feel like it doesn't get enough credit. Cowards in Compton. I know he didn't rap for most of it, but just like the raps on it were better than any of the raps that came out of, especially the beef, the fuck with Dre Day beef. because that was the first song where like someone was dissing like 3 different people. Well, okay, Roxanne Shante, she disliked the entire industry. But like it had been a while since someone had dissed like a whole bunch of people, and then all of a sudden you got Fuck with Dre Day, big smash hit single, and he's dissing Tim Dog. First of all, why the fuck is he dissing Tim Dog? But
Thank you.
I'm so
glad.
Dog.
I am so glad you asked. I'm so glad you asked that question, because that was I had that same question. I'm like, yo, who's going at Tim Dog? Why?
Like, you're giving. And you know what it was? You know what the reason why is? Because Tim Dog made a song called "Fuck Compton." Because that was during the time where, West Coast is starting to get some shine. So, some of the East Coast cats getting a little jelly. You know what I mean? Getting a little jelly for the peanut butter. So, he decided to be like, oh, well, I'm going to lead the movement and say, yeah, fuck them. And, he had a couple of hits. Like, he said, I remember there was just that one line where it was just like, you all are suckers and Jerry curls are for dumb motherfuckers. I was like, oh shit. Wow. I was like, all right, well, if you wear a Jerry curl, you got to come after him now. Like, you can't take that sitting down.
He's coming at
lifestyle at this point. Man.
Yeah, right. Like, bro, he's coming at cats that rocking Jerry curls. Let's just be real here. Like, hold on. Everybody that was a hardcore West Coast rapper was rocking the Jerry curl. And I'm looking dead at Ice Cube like, bruh. I'm like, yo, don't let Ice Cube hear that. Do not let Ice Cube hear that shit.
Right. I took that as a subliminal shot of every black person on the West Coast and niggas from the South. Because come on, the South was just dripping and activator during that time too.
It was dripping.
Oh my god!
But here's my thing. Going back to my point, Dr. Dre makes this diss song to Tim Dog, Eazy-E, and then Luke was the one that I didn't know about, because he said like, wait, Gap Teether, who is he dissing? I was like, wait, Uncle Luke and Snoop had beef? What? And
I remember they did.
Do you know what the origin of it was?
Please tell me it was something stupid.
The beef, isn't it?
9 times out of 10 it is something.
Either way, the song, of course we've all heard "Fuck with Dre Day" and everybody celebrate. We've heard that for years and years and years. But if you actually look at the lyrics, they're weak as fuck. Oh, you got a gap in your mouth, so my dick's got to fit. Why does your dick fit through a gap in someone's teeth? That seems like more of a diss towards you and how small your dick is, because gaps in teeth aren't that big. What? Yeah. You know what I mean? But then Cowards in Compton, that shit came back. Seriously, I'm telling, if y'all take nothing else away from this podcast, go listen to that fucking song. It is a forgotten gem. He came at those motherfuckers, and there's a music video to it. And it's just good satire in general. Like, Weird Al would be proud of this shit. Like, of course, it's a lot more crass. But, like, he also comes at him, he says, like, because remember, he had that one line, he's like, he says, oh man, remember in the 80s, you was looking real nice on them World Class Wrecking Crew covers when you was dressed up in lipstick. Oh, but then in the 90s, all of a sudden you say you don't smoke weed, but then I see you on the other album, and all of a sudden you smoke weed. So I want to know which is the real Dr. Dre. And I was like, oh shit! Like, he actually called him out. Like, yeah. You know what I mean? So many diss songs are just, you're gay and I have more money than you.
I was about to say, that's really like, where you wrap up to. Yeah. That shit is amazing, man.
Now you know another video. This was also a good beef, but at the same time, I can understand why they did it. It was who was it? Oh yeah, the Dog Pound versus Mobb Deep.
Oh wow.
What was that about? That had something to do with the East Coast, West Coast.
It was
in general LA beef, right?
Now, yeah. Now you remember, because Snoop was on this song. They made that song called New York, New York. And it was originally going to be a positive song that they were going to put out. But after somebody came by and shot up the video shoot, they changed up everything like within an hour. They flipped everything. They had Snoop kicking over the Empire State Building.
I remember that. That was the big moment that got everyone pissed off.
Everyone was pissed off at that moment. And
wait.
And then what happened with Mobb Deep?
Wait. So somebody shot up their video, and they got mad, and they just started saying "fuck New York." Yep. How did they know that?
Yeah, because think about it. You got to think about this. They came to New York to do a video, and they were going to do a song.
They were in New York.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Like I said, I mean, like I said, they were in New York to put the song out, then do the video. And I think, and if this is true, if All Eyes on Me is telling any kind of truth here, Biggie was on the Biggie was on the radio station. He was heated and said, "Yo, I heard them. I heard some West Coast niggas is doing a video shoot over in such and such and such and such." And niggas, of course, that feel some type of way came over to the set and shot that shit up. No, now if I ain't mistaken, nobody got hurt. So apparently these niggas that shot up the place had the aim of fucking stormtroopers. And so after the trailers and shit got shot up, they completely flipped the song, made it a diss record, and then made the video, which was even more harsh. And then after that, in the wake of all of that, Mobb Deep came out with a song called L.A. L.A.
Yeah,
and with a video.
Well.
And then that somehow transformed into Jay and Prodigy beefing for a hot second.
Yeah,
I like how that also spawned into Tupac somehow dissing Mobb Deep and Mobb Deep somehow dissing them.
A whole bunch of shit just happened.
I mean, this was a clusterfuck of a misunderstanding, but at the same time, it was. You know what? New York is so territorial, ain't they?
Yeah,
they're just so. I know this is coming from fork dudes who don't live in New York, but we can see it from here. Y'all guys
no! The part 2 of this beef's about to pop off. Wait, who said New York is territorial? Man, fuck that.
We're from DC, dude.
I mean, if you really think about it, when you really think about it, when you have an entity like rap being completely dominated by the East Coast for as long as it was able to hold that shit.
I mean, of course.
Then the West Coast comes out of nowhere, and they just came out with just hit after hit after hit, and everybody started to flock over to the West Coast. East Coast tried to do their thing, West Coast doing their thing. Meanwhile, the South is sitting back like, "Hey, what about me?" And the Midwest is like, "Hey, we here too." And
man, shut up.
Ain't nobody listening to y'all, motherfucker.
Exactly. Ain't none of y'all even talking to you.
And then the South took the fuck over. Then out of nowhere, everyone's like, "Hey, Southern rappers, can we do songs with you too?"
You know what made me laugh about that? When what was it? It was the 1995 Soul Train Awards when
that was a moment of pride for the South.
Bro, when Outkast won, they got booed.
Man, listen. For a brief second there, the South was like the innocent bystander between the East and West, and it's just like, as soon as Outkast says, "Y'all don't got love for the South," it's like, Andre, shut up, just shut up. They don't just don't say anything.
And you know with me, I was like, they didn't do anything. Like
that's the thing but you remember, but see, when that happened, you know what happened? The whole city of Georgia said, "That's it. You know what? Fuck you, New York. We're gonna be better than you. We're gonna have more rappers coming from more places in this city than we even knew it happened. We're gonna have all the gay people gonna be better than y'all. And on top of that, we're gonna make the whole industry just bow to our needs. Everybody want a beat from a nigga from Atlanta, and we're gonna make our strip clubs better." What?
and so they got mad at Outkast because here's this hip hop music that's not coming from us. Okay, you didn't like Outkast, the people who are actually creative and doing shit. All right, here's Master P. You're welcome, asshole.
Make us say,
there you go.
Because he blew up the next year, and it's just like, God fucking damn it.
Master P came in with that Ice Cream Man album, and
You know what? We have to talk about this beef because it's one of the most interesting beefs of all time, in my opinion. I have never seen nobody get bodied the way Canibus got bodied.
Oh,
Jesus Christ!
That one is
like the enigma.
Because what I'm saying, the song that took him out, which was Jack the Ripper Part 2, was okay. Okay, it was okay. But to me, it didn't feel like a knockout punch. But it was clearly enough because Canibus was never right after that beef, man.
Well,
that destroyed his whole career.
I would say in all honesty, what is it? Return of Jack the Ripper. That felt more like a left hook.
It did.
4, 3, 2, 1 was the fucking body blow. That was it. It was like, oh shit.
Well, okay, let's put it like this, because that's another beef that has a dumbass origin. So
thank you. And the origin of it is that's so stupid. It's so goddamn ridiculous. man.
Canibus goes to the he's writing, and he starts off his verse. He's like, I know what I want to do since I'm the young guy that people don't know about. I'm going to start it off by like shouting out all the dudes on the track. You know, like Redman, where the squad at? You know, Meth, where the God's at? LL, is that a mic on your arm? Let me bar that. And it's like the context of what he's saying is obviously like, hey guys, you know, I love you guys and I'm showing love to y'all, but yo, it's my turn to rip. And LL, for some fucking reason, took the idea of him taking the mic from his arm as a diss. It was like,
no, you know, I can't accept that. I can't accept some little nigga to take it from me.
So apparently LL just decided. No, LL actually had Vietnam flashbacks circa Mama Said Knock You Out.
You know,
and just came at him.
Here's the thing about it, here's the thing about it, and I think you mentioned this on one of your reviews, Rap Critic, about LL. LL was the first hip hop superstar.
Yeah, he's proto Drake. If you really want to,
thank you. He really is. There would be no Drake if there was no LL. LL had everybody coming at his head as well, and
true.
So LL was always at the ready for somebody to say something stupid to him. Mm-hmm. And that felt like that thing that went down with Canibus was just, that's all I need right there. Chill. It just went at him.
And I think nobody had really dissed him in a while. You know what I mean? Early in his career, he was getting a lot of heat. But as time kind of went on, he kind of became, you know, he was kind of on track to be like Will Smith. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, he's a happy, friendly guy. And then so LL decided to write his whole verse dissing Canibus on the same song. So it was originally planning on just dissing the dude that he was like, you guys were about to shoot a fucking video. Like, what the hell?
And yet that whole part was fucking awesome.
It was incredible. But because he says, like, you don't want this mic, nigga. You want to idolize, and you don't want to da-da-da. Like, he kind of sunned him, but it was just like an unnecessary sunning.
It was so unnecessary.
So they hit. So they hit each other up in the studio, and Canibus said, "All right, I'll take my verse off, or I'll change it, or something like that." And they were like, "Cool." And LL kept the same verse. He didn't change it in any way. So in effect, it's still dissing him. But what he said was, "Oh well, they won't know that I'm dissing you. They won't know. It's like, of course they're gonna fucking know."
Are you kidding me?
What? Do you know how? Look, even before the internet, at that time with hip hop was so fucking. You wouldn't know what goes down, man.
The vibe message boards were lit up.
Yeah.
Can I also point out that there.
Right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry about that. Like, can I also point out that there are 3 versions of the song and the video? Like, how is it that? I was gonna say, how is it that Master P was somehow excluded? He was excluded from the video. Like, well, I'm sorry, the most commonly known video, the one that only has just the 4 of them. But the whole song includes both Master P and Canibus. And God, like, they actually had videos for it. And how is it that the only one that gets any actual airplay is the original with just the 4 of them?
Because
it's history, actually.
No, it was Redman, Method Man, DMX, LL.
Canibus.
Yeah.
But no, see, okay, Rap Critic, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't there a version where Canibus isn't even on it?
Yes, because he did shoot a video. He shot part of the video, I think. It wasn't with the football players, like, doing something. He was, like, kicking them down. Wasn't that part of it?
Yeah.
Something like that. I forgot what it was, man. That part kind of bleeds into the second round knockout for me. So, I don't know.
Yeah, probably because I remember Rap City played that one, and then, like, I think I watched TRL, and they randomly played. I'm like, wasn't Canibus in this? Maybe I'm tripping.
Yeah, right. Like, we had a Mandela effect. It's like, wait, I could swear Canibus existed.
Man, I had, but I remember when that song came out for Canibus, and I don't know why I gave him so many points because I heard, "Hey, yo, Canibus, this is Mike Tyson. What you gotta do is eat." I thought that was no real bullshit, y'all. I thought that was one of the most dopest things in hip hop. I heard that, like, this nigga got Tyson, and then, just to be honest with you, it was a really good song. So I was hyped. I love that song, man.
Here's the thing about a beef, though. If you're gonna diss someone on a beef, every line has to be, if not perfect, at least not able to make fun of. You need to make it so that none of the lines you can't joke on it. And he has a line in there where he says, "You may have more cash than me, but you ain't got the skills to eat a nigga's ass like me." And everyone was just like, like
1997, pause.
Exactly. And it's just like, look, I know what you meant. This is a beef song, man. Like, we're looking for reasons to see the, you know what I mean?
We're looking for reasons. We're looking for reasons to side with you.
Now, here's the thing. So the big line from that one was that line and the 99% of your fans wear high heels. And then LL Cool J came back and hit him on his response where he said, "Oh, 99% of my fans wear high heels? 99% of your fans don't exist, bitch."
Damn.
I was like, oh, no. Let it go, dog. It's over.
Right there. I knew he wasn't coming back. That was the punch. That was like a standing knockout where the ref would stop the match. That's
right.
Yeah, this is like, bro, this is like,
you can't go on.
like, bro, this is like the ref. This is like the ref stopping the fight between Lennox Lewis and Klitschko, and Klitschko gets mad.
I'm like, really, man. Look, you know what the thing with that beef, what made it so funny was, I had a friend who loved everything rap. Oh, you know what? DJ Sue knows this. Remember? Do you remember Tyron?
Yes.
Yeah, man. Remember, he knew everything hip hop, New Yorkish, and all that shit because God forbid somebody from Bronx for 2 seconds not act like they're in New York City anymore. But man, why the bus is so slow? You've been in DC for the last 4 years. Shut the fuck up. Damn, man, back in the city. Which city, motherfucker? New York City? Go back to it then, but whatever. But yeah, he told me, like, yeah, man, I got Canibus' new album. I was like, say what? Now, no, this is when LL's GOAT album came out. So basically, this was the album that Canibus made before he went to the motherfucking to the army or some shit.
Yeah, and it kind of looked like he ran away. That's what a lot of people were saying.
I remember on the GOAT album, actually, LL going back at Canibus.
Oh no!
And saying, he went back at Canibus. Now, I should have picked up the line because it hit me this morning. But he mentioned that that Canibus was from Canada, and he's been lying to everybody this whole entire time.
What? What?
Wish I could make it up. I wish I could make it up. I forgot the name of the song. I think it's been so good. I mean, I think it's called "Where I Belong." All I know is that Ja Rule's on the hook, and Ja Rule's completely.
It was about that time.
Where I belong is that Ja Rule. Oh my god.
You know the best beef that I thought was freaking hilarious because both sides are like, I don't even know how the fuck that started. Fucking 3 6 and Bone Thugs. Both of them are like, I don't even know why we were beefing. I really don't get it.
You know what that was? You know what that was? Hey, Juicy, yeah? Pass me that weed. Why? What we gonna do today? I don't know. This is make fun of motherfuckers that got more money at us at the time right now. Yeah. What about Bone Thug? Yeah, fuck them niggas. I did like East 99. Yeah, East 99 dope. That's what it felt like.
What was one beef that was just like, the one between Tupac and De La Soul.
Jesus.
Like,
yeah, I remember that one.
It's like, come on, guys.
That happened.
Okay, so the whole thing about that was, De La Soul made a video and they were making fun of how rap videos look nowadays, and they just so happened to get a bald-headed dude to play like the rapper who's like the look, I'm rich. And Tupac was like, oh, y'all motherfuckers talking about me? Rap beef, nigga.
Let's go. It's go time.
But it was like, but I think like De La like called them like that weekend. It was like, dude, we weren't talking about you. What are you talking about? but I will say that video does look a lot like the I Get Around video. It's like, come on. Like, I know
You weren't even trying to hide it.
But, like, still, like, you really think that you were going to do something like that and no one was going to say anything? Like, come on, De La. Like, I know, like, people should know that you're De La Soul, and of course, like, come on. Who's De La Soul beefing with? But, you know, sometimes pressures get heated. Fucking Tupac, you know.
All right. I got a question now. I need somebody to really explain this to me because I need to know if Joe Budden has been lying to me, because I believe his crazy conspiracy theory. Has Kanye actually been trying to sabotage Drake this whole entire time, and we're just crazy?
What is the proof? What is the proof? What have they said?
There has been this long debate because now this came out when Drake put out his album, and Joe put out basically had his podcast. He was talking about how Kanye has been secretly trying to knock off Drake since, well, forever. For whatever reason, he's been trying to knock him off, and it's one of those weird things where you can't prove it, but you can see the breadcrumbs of shade, put it that way. And they're saying it's starting to show up in everybody's lyrics and all. Like the whole thing between Drake and Pusha was really, that was more because of a misunderstanding, number one, but at the same time, tension. It's weird.
Now, see, what I had heard about that particular beef was that it was actually Drake taking up for Lil Wayne, because Lil Wayne had beef with Pusha T going back to 2006 with like the Me Too video. Remember that shit?
Yes. Yes, it goes back that far, and I think a lot of people don't remember that, man. Yeah. Like, a lot of people really don't remember that Pusha for a good time, for a good while, kept going at Cash Money. I remember it was like in 2012. Oh, God, it was on his album. I forgot what song it was, but I think he straight up called out Young Money.
Yeah, it was the thing about that song was it was a Bible verse or something like that he used as the name of the song. And the thing that he was saying, he was calling out Lil Wayne's record label. He was actually calling out Baby and saying, "Hey, you guys are getting screwed over by the label." And what I think that was sort of like, this is just my theory, but I think this was because there had been a lot of rumors about, like, you know, who's Lil Wayne gonna sign to after he leaves Cash Money, because we know about all the business problems that are going on. And so I think that was Pusha T sort of saying, hey, you know, putting a bug in Wayne's ear and being like, yo, leave your boy Birdman, come fuck with us, we'll sign you, da 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 da. And I think that was sort of him saying, you know, calling out loud and being like, hey, look how much you're getting screwed over by the label. Huh? Yeah, wouldn't you want to get with a label that would treat you better than that? And then Lil Wayne, instead of, you know, taking that as like a, oh yeah, probably should, which he's actually doing now. Isn't he like officially suing? Like, you know, because...
Yeah, he's doing all that right now.
Yeah, they all like to make it seem like, nah, the Cash Money empire will never fall. But we're seeing what's happening.
Are you kidding me?
But
that thing's been falling for a while, man.
So instead of Lil Wayne going like, you know, just being like, oh, well, no, I'm not gonna leave the label. He's like, oh, no, specifically, fuck you. So that's how I think that popped up. But what people are saying before that is what happened is that, so the Clips and Pharrell, there was a certain clothing line that they fucked with. I think it was Baked. And they were like, we're the dudes that rock that shit. We're the dudes that made that popular. And then all of a sudden, Lil Wayne starts rocking Babes. And he's like, yo, why are you taking our style? Which is, I just think that's a stupid reason to start a beef. Like, do you not do things in order to want other people to do it too? Because isn't that the reason why, like, people are like, yo, so you can have all those raps where you're saying people are copying your style. If no one copies your style, you can't make all those raps. I'm just saying.
That's the thing that killed me, because I had because I remember during that time, they said, yeah, we wear bathing today. I was like, now, as a person that loved Dipset, that's all they talked about wearing. So why is that an issue?
Yeah, I think it was just because Lil Wayne was getting the biggest at the time, and I think there was just a little bit of salt. You know what I mean? Just sort of like, man, how is he getting big off of this style that we did? You know,
you gotta realize that that's how beef start with a grain of salt anyway.
A grain of salt, just add water.
That's pretty much how it all starts, just a little bit. But here's the thing I don't like about beef, and it's just personal. I hate that when it's the person that really that outclass and all that wins. All right, let me stop beating around the bush. I hated what happened with Remy Ma and Nicki, only for one reason, because it didn't get Remy Ma bigger as an artist, at least in my opinion. Because I remember everybody named Mom like, yeah, Remy Ma. I'm like, are any of you going to buy any of her records?
Nope.
And it was weird because
I hated that.
She started popping off before she made the diss record, because remember she had the All the Way Up joint, and she was doing a couple remix verses, and I was like, oh, okay, Remy Ma's out of jail, things are popping off. And then she did the Sheether thing, and that was kind of her big hit in a way, because after that, the heat dissipated. Because remember, there was a whole thing about like, ooh, Remy Ma and Papoose, power couple. You don't really hear people talk like that anymore, you know?
I mean, it was sad too, because we finally got to see Papoose without the hat, and I thought it was going to be a whole new thing we was going to see with the two. But I hated that. I really hated that, like, because I always rooted for Remy Ma, because I always said she was a lot better than what even she put out. But I also felt that a lot of people didn't really fuck with her the way I think they should have. Because you're talking to a dude that was a fan of Rod Digger, and I hated how she just had one and she was done.
Okay, actually, man, there are so many female rappers, because you said Rod Digger, and immediately I thought of Charlie Baltimore.
Man,
she was done wrong by the industry, man.
Charlie.
She was a footnote.
Like, hey, Rap Critic, you know what? Look, I won't even take that from you. I'll throw another one in there for you. Emil.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, me and my friend, and I gotta bring this up. He gonna listen to this episode. Hey, Mike, what's good? I'm telling this fucking story again because I'm embarrassing you. All right, me and my boy Mike go back and forth on who was good and all that. And we went through one school year where we basically were saying what you listen to, what I listen to is superior. I was a DMX fan. He was a Jay-Z fan. So, of course, I'm going to support the Rough Rider label. He's going to support Rockefeller. This motherfucker had the goddamn nerve for the whole year, and even to this day, to tell me that Emil was pretty damn decent. No, she wasn't.
Nah.
I mean, she was better than Vita, which isn't saying much.
Yes,
oh,
but she was not better than Charlie Baltimore.
Yeah.
Charlie Baltimore was fucking nice, and she got screwed over twice by the record industry.
Twice.
Because there was a time in the 90s where she was fucking with Biggie, and she was supposed to pop off then, and then he died. And then she was just like, all right, I'll fuck with, like, I think it was like Jay-Z and Cameron and Dipset, and then that dissipated. It was just like,
and that was pissed me off, because I thought if anybody was going to hook her up, it was Dipset. I really thought Dipset was going to like do something with her.
Charlie Baltimore took it pretty well. I gotta give her that credit.
No, like Dipset, and the reason why Dipset didn't even mess with her is because Dipset ended up getting the other homegirl. Oh God, what's her name?
That they didn't use. Who was that? Jaja.
Yeah, Jaja. They got Jaja, and they barely used her.
Okay, here's a
nigga, there are strikers and KOF to get more use than her.
Yo, here's a fun fact. She technically still has not released a debut album yet.
Who?
Can you believe this shit?
Who?
I believe it.
Charlie Baltimore's Cold as Ice was technically released in 1999, but it was only released, quote unquote, promotionally. It was not publicly released.
Wow.
Yeah.
So wait. So let me get this right. So it was released as like a glorified EP.
Basically,
it's just a single. Are you serious?
Actually, time out. Didn't and I think we talked about this when we talked about Booty Call. Did we talk about the fact that one of her songs that was supposed to be on the album was on the Woo soundtrack or some shit?
Funny.
Yeah. Like that. Yeah.
Okay, so this is what they said. The album did not make any Billboard charts since it did not see a public release. But the album has now been released as a digital download on iTunes. So, like, That's just a fucking shame.
I really would love to hear Irv Gotti's side of it, considering he did produce some tracks on that album.
Yup. What happened?
Oh man, I forgot about her.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Motherfucking 1999 was fucking bananas, B.
There's a lot of fucking albums that came out, man.
Man, not only was a lot of albums, I was helping niggas produce. I was starting shit between Jay-Z. I was starting shit between Ja Rule and DMX. Yeah, I started that shit. What?
I'm sorry, Irv feels like he fucking instigates a lot of shit. I love Irv, but then sometimes I'm like, oh, Irv, you started that shit, didn't you?
I'm willing to bet that Irv believes that he's the one that got that he was the one that got X, Ja, Nas, Method Man, and Redman on that grand finale song from Belly.
I think Irv Gotti takes responsibility for a lot of shit, and he does deserve it.
If Irv could get away with it, he'll take claim for fucking Tupac and Biggie hashing out their beef and shit, even though they're both dead.
I'm just mad that Irv Gotti legit hyped up Ja Rule's head to think that he was the next Tupac.
Hey, that's what you're supposed to do, all right, sir? That's what you're supposed to do, all right? You're supposed to hype a man.
Yeah, I will not forgive how he hyped up his head to think that.
I'm sorry, D. You don't understand, D. I will hype up you and Eris if it was like fucking The Rock coming up, both of you. I'm gonna whoop your ass. I'm gonna hype both of y'all up. Y'all can take The Rock. Y'all can take him. Let's go.
Okay,
do it.
So while we're just talking about early 2000s rap, because that's just what I like to do.
Yeah.
Can we talk for a second about your boy Wyclef Jean?
Oh, him and Lauryn Hill beefing for a second?
Well, actually, I just wanted to talk about Wyclef Jean being just a mediocre artist because wow,
that hurts my soul as somebody that loves the one album that I love of his, which is The Carnival.
Dude, you
that
like
hurts
that
my
one
soul.
song, man. Hold on. Which song is it? Which song is it? Call 911 or Gone to November? Which song is it?
Call 911, sir.
You fucking pussy. Dude, I knew you was gonna say Call 911.
Gone to November is too easy. It's like, nah. I love that song, but it's like, yeah, it hurts my soul. It hurts my soul. It's
I didn't like that song, man. Even as a mature adult now, I still don't like Gone to November. Okay. But you know what? Go ahead.
If you don't like, okay. So someone showed me a video of Wyclef. They call it Wyclef Jean Shreds because, and of course it's ironic because if you ever listen to any Wyclef Jean music, it's always the most boring, middle of the road guitar playing, and he's always doing like a couple of tracks. You know, it's always like multiple tracks, and so it just doesn't sound very interesting or special. Dude, you know what I mean? Am I wrong though?
No, you're not wrong.
This is coming from a dude that likes Wyclef. Holy fuck! It is just about mediocre.
Right?
It is just about mediocre.
Just about. Because it's not horrible. It's not horrible.
It's not. Not by a long shot. But at the same time, it's like, damn. So he just said, fuck rap. I'm going to make elevator music for the rest of my life. Man,
all right, cool. Dope. Let's go.
Dude was like, I want to be the Black Chuck Mangione, man. That's what he said.
No. Here's the kicker. I sit there and say I love Wyclef's one album. You want to know why? Because I never listened to any goddamn album after The Carnival. That's very telling about where I was at with Wyclef at that point.
Hey, you ain't shit for that. Man. I do like the fact that he was beefing with Lauryn, and I remember at the time when I finally heard about that, I was like, man, why he going to knock Lauryn Hill like that, man? She wrote all those songs,
and
man. She's a beautiful.
It all makes sense.
Dude, I knew. Funny thing. Here's the funny thing about that whole any beef that anytime somebody wants to bring up Lauryn Hill in this beef, like this is not a beef. This is Lil' Kim getting mad that Biggie wrote a song for her. I don't care. That's really what that is.
Well, okay, so. I'm gonna see if I can find this video. There's a video of Wyclef Jean performing live, and just doing the typical. He's the proto Lil Wayne, but with like one or two more guitar lessons. Like, let's be real. So he's performing live, and I'm watching the video. All of a sudden, if you look over to like the right, you see like this big dude come barreling at him, and he gets taken out by like security. And I was just like, what the fuck just happened? I wish I could find this fucking video. But it was just like Wyclef just playing the most boring, uninteresting music. All of a sudden, you just see this dude really mad come at him and taking out my security. I'm just like, wow, is Wyclef like that offensive to this audience right now? I was like,
either it's that. Either it's that.
Gone to November gave him PTSD. That's what it was.
No. She gonna leave me again.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
Like, let me
Now, here's the thing. When it comes to, like, we always say the top guy always get shots thrown at him. So would that be the case with Jay-Z and Nas? Would that be that?
Again, because that was personal.
Oh, okay. Wait. All right. Let's look at the origin of that beef. As far as I know, what had happened was Jay-Z wanted to use the Dead Presidents sample.
Okay.
I'm out for presidents to represent me. And Nas was kind of like, nah, I don't want you to use that because, like, I kind of feel like I'm shining and you have your shine, and for you to, like, sample mine, that's kind of, that feels kind of messed up. Because I think this is before rappers really started sampling each other. Because that wasn't really a thing yet until, like, the 2000s. And what Jay-Z decided to do was sample it anyway. But he didn't do it illegally. He actually paid Searchlight Publishing, and that's where he brings it up in the song. He said, I know who got paid, Searchlight Publishing, and you ain't get a coin, nigga. You was getting fucked then. So basically, he was saying, like, your label was screwing you over, so I paid to use your voice, but none of the money, you can't even brag that the money went to you because I actually paid these people, and your contract was fucked up at the time, and you didn't even get a dime. So it was sort of like, oh, you're just going to sample me after I told you not to? And so, like, from both perspectives, it's like, I told you not to sample me, and you did it anyway, so fuck you. And from Jay's perspective, it was like, I was kind of paying respect by asking you to sample you, and I thought we was cool. So for you to just be like, no, it's just like, well, fuck you too, dude. And then it sort of built on from there, fucking people's baby mamas. Things escalate. And
As you do.
I like how that was thrown in there as that's expected.
As you do.
It's pretty much, man. Like, I always feel
it's like,
that.
I got a rap beef with that dude. What's his girlfriend's phone number? Hold on.
I will say this: if you were in high school, that drew the line for a lot of people. And I say drew the line for a lot of people is like you like, at least what one of my friends told me. If you like Jay-Z, you like commercial shit. If you like Nas, you must love hip hop. Mm-hmm. It drew the it wasn't one side. And it was almost the same way with Benny Siegel and Jada, but it didn't turn out that way. It was just two guys that were, the second bananas of their crew, and
because Jada didn't pop the way they were trying to push him. Because remember, he was on a song with Mariah Carey, and can we just think about how weird that is for a second? Jada's in a song. We know this doesn't fit. Like, come on now.
I heard Honey the other day on the radio, and I died laughing. I was like, yo, is that Styles P on a track with Mariah Carey?
Yeah,
don't make no damn sense.
CD, I have to finally admit something when you were talking about Jadakiss really did have one hit, didn't he?
Yeah.
Jadakiss had, I say here's the funny thing about why. Why?
See, I was giving you We Gonna Make It, but yeah, you're right. Why?
Yeah, We Gonna Make It was hot. I know that, but here's the thing: why was his biggest hit? Number one, but number two, I felt like he just couldn't make nothing better than that. That could be, sampled by the whole commercial world as good. And when you really, and thanks to Rap Critic, thank you for ruining that song, nigga. I really enjoyed you ruining that song for me.
Oh,
but yes, half those lyrics didn't make any goddamn sense. See, I'm going to tell you this, actually, dude. Like, I was watching In My Feelings. You did a review for In My Feelings. I agree with you 100%. I love that song. I agree with you 100%. It's a nothing song. Yeah. It's just a beat. There's nothing to it. And when you actually, because I told my wife, I'm like, all right, baby, when Drake starts rapping, try to follow the story that he's painting for you. And she got to the end of the verse, she was like, is there a second verse of this? No, it ain't. Oh, no. Thank God. Because that didn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, like, he's not, like, it's one verse, and you think it would be fully focused on, like, you know, the girl, but then he starts talking, like, Drake is a very paranoid man. And it comes through. Like, he just talking about, like, you gotta feel me before they try and kill me. Like, wait, whoa, what? like people trying to kill you? What does that have to do with anything?
Like one of my favorite songs actually is with him and Future. It's on their it's on their album on their album together. What a Time. Yeah. What a Time to Be Alive. And there's a song they got on there. It's my favorite song. I love it because it's an absolute nothing song, but I love singing it. It's called Diamonds Dancing. It is one of the most paranoid songs from Drake ever, because Drake goes on there basically getting mad at the girl for going out and basically having a social life and both of them not talking to each other. But apparently they live in the same house and they just don't talk to each other. And if you listen to it, it's one of the most paranoid things. At the end of the song, he basically repeats, "You're doing me dirty." And he keeps on mentioning the shit she does. It's like, I can just imagine Drake just sitting there complaining about it. I love it. I absolutely love it. But it's like, Drake, why? Who did you wrong, man? I want to know, what girl did you wrong? Who is the girl? Let's find her. Like, but anyway. But I always, but yeah, thank you for ruining songs and actually making me agree, because holy shit, like I told you before, your whole thing about Tribe Called Quest, yeah, there are a bunch of black people. And then there are a bunch of older black people I can't talk to.
Yeah, and then Five Dog had to go and die on us, and now I can't make any jokes about them anymore.
Which is ironic. You see, it's ironic you said that about Tribe, and yet they came out with that album last year, and it was actually pretty fucking good.
Yeah, and I really liked it. I was like, this might be the first Tribe album I've liked. And now here's the thing. The funny thing is, me saying shit about Tribe Called Quest, when I look back at it, it actually wasn't mostly Five. It was mostly Q-Tip. Q-Tip comes with most of the weird fucking lines. Like, Left My Wallet in El Segundo, that's all Q-Tip. Just fucking meandering about, like, oh yeah, we went somewhere, and then we came back, and oh fuck, I forgot my wallet. Like, are you serious? Like, this passed for, like, storytelling at the time?
I have to say, Rap Critic, that was probably one of the boldest things that I've seen anybody do, especially against a rap group.
Because it's kind of like one of those, like, how dare you go against
No. It wasn't even a how dare you to me. It was more of once I saw Rap Critic, like once I saw him put out that video, I said, hold up, he said something about Tribe Called Quest. So I'm watching this, and I'm like, you know what? I have nothing to argue about this. I'm like, yo, he is bang on with everything that he's saying right now. And the thing is, like, it was more the beats from their earlier albums. It was more the beats of why people liked them.
And what I like, that's okay. Not everyone has to be Big Daddy Kane. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
But it just kind of felt like people, like, I feel like no one ever brings up Q-Tip when it comes to, like, best rappers, like, lyrically. And so, but I feel like the group as a whole had this sort of, like, still had this sort of, like, big aura, like, they're freaking incredible. And I'm just like, well, their beats are good, but has anyone been like, yo, that flow, that verse on Can I Kick It? That's the best. Oh my God, competes one of the best songs of the year. Feel free, drop your pants, drop your hanger. Like, what? Like, no, this is just silly. It's fun, but it's just silly. Honestly, I thought Kid and Play had more rhymes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I listen to Kid and Play. Yeah, they actually had some shit. They came with it.
Mm-hmm.
The only, like, the one group I thought that eclipsed them, but I just hated how it went, was actually De La Soul. I thought De La Soul was way better.
Actually,
than that,
and I will say that. But you know what it is? Like, okay, so the Two Live Crew is a group that, yes, gets respected, like, because of what they did, but it's kind of put in perspective. Like, yeah, what they did was really important, but what they actually made wasn't really that great. And I feel like with A Tribe Called Quest, there was kind of like this ambiguous sort of, like, you know how sometimes a group just ends up getting lumped in with other legends just by proxy of it being around at the time, you know? And I feel like nobody does that with Kid and Play, even though they're actually nicer lyrically. You know what I mean? No one goes like, yo, some of the best rap groups of the time, da-da-da, Kid and Play, Foo Schnickens. You know what I mean? Like, no one throws those guys in, but it was like, well, why do people go and try?
I mean, I think
I really think it's just because they stuck around. You know, and Q-Tip has a really good voice. Q-Tip has a really interesting, his voice perfectly fits the type of beats that they were making. Like, his voice could not fit on any other beat but those type of beats. So they are, I feel like they are a representation of, like, the package, right? They it's not necessarily them as lyricists, but them as the package. They're a weird group. Their beats aren't really like the norm. Yeah, that sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, to be fair to Kid and Play, they just opted like, you know what? Let's just get out on top. We're done.
That is true, though. They never had the full-on embarrassing period.
They didn't do what Will Smith did. It was like, you know what? Everybody else is taking the West Coast shot. Let's get hardcore. And I'm like, don't do it, Will. Man. You did it. Damn it, Will. God damn it.
Boom, shake, shake, shake the room. Tick, 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 boom. Bombs. That's hardcore, right? What was that song? Hey, man, when he said, "Oh, I get to stutter," and when I'm rapping, it's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop it! Stop!" He was trying to be Onyx. That's what he was doing.
So bad. Thank you. He was trying to be Onyx. Hey, DJ Sue, remember this weird beef that you and I went through? Because it felt like one of the most this beef felt so overrated, and it went nowhere in reality. 50 versus Cameron.
Curtis.
No, because technically Cam won, but nobody gave a shit.
Yeah, that's because Cam didn't give a shit.
Cam won by the song Cam won, but technically no one gave a shit.
First of all, D, can we point out the fact that both of them recorded diss tracks out of their own house?
They did, and the best part.
No. I'm sorry, not tracks. Sorry, not the tracks. They recorded diss videos out of their house.
Yeah, that was weird. That was a weird time in hip hop where the handy cams were out.
I remember that. Yep, when everyone was trying to make the guerrilla videos, you know.
Oh my God,
look,
that
it's
was a
the internet. We're doing it. Yeah.
You know what?
The wasteland of videos of just walking around, standing in front of stores.
But check this out. We talked this about before the show. We got to mention it again. Hi, I'm D. I tried to rap at one point in my life.
Hi, D.
Hi. What was your rap name, D? It was D Black. Oh, man, it was awesome. What are you laughing for? Did you try to...
Yes, actually, and I still am. Don't hate. I'm doing my thing. Hey, every now and then, you know, I actually get some money from Bandcamp and Spotify. And like every now and then, I get a check, and I'm like, oh shit, well, this is more money than I was expecting this month.
Hey, baby, we're going to Tesla. Shit, we good tonight. Fuck. Yeah, I know that comes right the fuck out of nowhere. I bet. But no, I tried to be a rapper because I try to be, and I got to get this out of you while we have you. I never heard you mention one of my favorite acts, and I love this dude to death. And even though half his shit on Instagram don't make no sense no more, it's fine. He's my favorite rapper. He's my hero. I never heard you talk about Cameron Giles. I never got your take on him.
Cameron Giles?
Cameron.
Killer.
Just Cameron. I thought you were saying like someone specifically like, wait, who is this Cameron? Like that was his fucking name. Hold on a second. No, I did do a review of Cameron, didn't I?
I don't remember you did. If you did, I
did. Oh, you know what it was? I put him on a worst lyrics one time.
Oh yeah. Let me make this really clear.
With the penis, yeah.
Look, I still think to this day that Cameron has a combination of some of the most dopest, dumbest lyrics that will ever exist.
Yes, that is. I will say that.
Oh my God, they're good, but it's like what?
Like it's like just when I think that this a song that I'm listening to from him is just like, oh, this is whack. I don't like this, and then he just like flip something that was just like, ah, shit, that was way more clever than I thought it was gonna be. Ah, fuck. Well, now I can't hate it as much as I wanted to.
Oh my gosh, I remember
polarizing. That's what I'll say about him.
I remember there was a line that me and DJ Sue died off of. It was off of What's Really Good.
Computers putin'.
Oh my! I keep computers putin' one of the best lines ever. First off, sir.
Like, motherfucker, you don't even know what a computer does. God damn it!
I keep computers putin'.
Oh,
Nah, one of my lines off of the Killer Season album. The very first track, gun to mouth, they often drool.
That's a dope line, though.
It had me laughing like, yo, this is about to be a hot ass album.
No, the shit that had me going was I Really Mean It, where he basically broke down the scene where he got shot in Boys
Yeah.
That was the best thing ever, man. So what do you say? The fucking baby crying.
No, he said. No, I remember. He said it. He said, "Wifey screaming, old lady sighing, blood dripping, pissy little baby crying." Fucked up, man.
I really mean it. No, man.
There was one song where he there was one song where he dissed Jay-Z, and like every other line he kept saying that Jay-Z was older and older.
Yeah, that was on You Gotta Love.
It was like, you're an 80s baby, you 37 years old. How you the king of New York rocking sandals with jeans and you 42 years old? It's like, what, is he getting older by the minute? Like, is he fucking Jack? Like, what the fuck is going on?
I was the first person to throw age into the mix. And look, to be really honest with you, it's low-hanging fruit, but if I'm beefing Jay-Z, yes, that would be the first thing I'm going at.
I know you've got more money than me. I'm not winning there.
Exactly. So the first thing I'm going at, hey, y'all, AARP over here wants me to beef with this. You know what I'm saying? What I'm going at? It's low-hanging fruit, but I can't blame him really because Cam was going. That whole beef with him and Jay-Z was a combination of a misunderstanding and Dame's Harlemism getting everybody in trouble just because of who he was. I don't know, man. That whole
I think it was more of a loyalty thing. This is something that Cam, like, real talk. The whole thing with Cam and Jay-Z, Cam has been stewing that shit. He was stewing on it for a good minute because the whole thing really goes back to just before Welcome to New York City.
Yeah, that whole
yeah.
Wasn't somebody supposed to be? Wait, wasn't there a beat that was supposed to go to Jay-Z, but Cameron took it? I think it was the Oh Boy beat.
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
Yeah, there was that. And then when Cam wanted Jay-Z to be on the song, okay, look, I'm not gonna say it was Cam that probably wanted it. It was probably Dame probably wanted Jay-Z to be on the Welcome to New York City track. Real talk, Jay never liked nobody from Dipset.
Which is so petty to me. It sounds so damn petty because it's like,
you
what the
could
fuck
tell,
for?
like, because weren't they on the same label at one point?
On the same label,
yeah.
And then the thing that pushed the envelope was when Jay said it himself. Them ain't my niggas; those are Dame's niggas.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't Jay beefing with DMX for a hot second? Or was that just something that everybody assumes?
No. DMX's beef with Jay came after Jay became the president of Rockefeller. I mean, the president.
Wait, hold on. I thought that their beef was purely about numbers. Like,
it was.
Because DMX was the biggest dude, and then because he had 2 platinum albums in 1 year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So he was ruling the game for a long time. And Jay-Z, as we know him, there's been a lot of reverse mythologizing, in the past like decade or so. But like the first album and a half, Jay-Z wasn't that big.
Irv said it. Irv said it best. Jay came to Irv, and Irv was like, "You think DMX is better than me?" And Irv was like, "Hell yeah, he's better than you."
And
I mean,
first. Go on.
I was gonna say, first of all, when Jay took over, when he took that seat.
Which, by the way, Jay made enemies with everybody when he became president. FYI.
Yeah, he did. And you know something? There's a reason why LL Cool J said no. Because remember, he was the first to be approached, and even he said no. Now, of course, he ended up kicking himself later like later regretting that decision, because he did come out not too long after that and said that he should have been the president of Def Jam. I'm like, nigga, was offered to you. The shit was offered to you on a silver platter, and you said no. You wanted that, but hey, you getting your NCIS money, so hey, do your thing, man. But no, the whole thing really came about the moment Jay-Z became the president, and he started pushing everybody He pushed everybody on Rockefeller first, and notice, out of all them people that he pushed, only one, I think, did anything significant. Everybody else done went freaking double wood.
Wait a minute. So what was it, like Neo and like who else? Rihanna.
Rihanna.
Yeah, it was like one or two.
Yeah, Rihanna, Neo. I mean, does Jay count himself as one of the people that he pushed?
You know what? I don't even know.
I mean,
I just thought the whole.
He tried to push. Was it Tierra Marie?
Yeah, Tierra Marie, that didn't go. He tried to place Lady Providence. That shit didn't fucking work.
Wait, Lady Sovereign.
Yeah, Lady Sovereign. Yeah, Lady Sovereign.
Yeah, Lady Sovereign. I remember that.
What was that about?
That went from here's my thing. Jay thought that he can get somebody off of the Adult Swim fucking mixtape, which back then that worked because that was Adult Swim's way of like, hey, let's put some spot on like indie artists, which was a smart idea, and put their music out for free. And Jay was like, hey, let me see if I can get this chick on there because her music blew up, and let's see what happens. I'm like, that's not going to work, Jay. That's not going to work. Nobody in America gives two shits about Lady Sovereign. I'm sorry, it's just not going to work.
Look, Lady Sovereign came out. She did her song "Love Me, Hate Me," and then just went right back.
Number one on TRL, and then back down.
She had that one song on FIFA, and that was it, bro.
I'm looking at it, and I was exactly right. Reasonable Doubt didn't have really a lot of hits on it. In My Lifetime didn't really have hits on it. It was Volume not 2? Until Volume 2.
Yep.
With Hard Knock Life. And the Can I Get Her from the Rush Hour soundtrack, because that was pretty big, too.
Sorry to say it, that was all Irv Gotti. Ha! That dude. It's like, love or hate him. It was like, Irv was the one that was like, nobody really gave a shit about music.
So I got a question, though. Can we call Jay-Z and Dame a beef? Is that really a beef? Because that's more professional anything.
That's professional beef more than rap beef.
There are no songs about... Well, Jay-Z made a couple of songs where he was like, oh, you made Hove? Okay, make another Hove.
Damn.
I mean, he ain't lying, though.
I mean, you say it was
I like how... No.
I know you said it was more professional. I know you said it was more professional, but it was definitely more personal. I mean, come on. How you going to take the label right from the dude that put the shit out there?
Hey man, I don't look. The older I get, the more I look at the situation. Well, hey.
I mean, look, I'm still waiting for that. I used
to be on Dame's side about it. Now it's like,
look, I'm still waiting for that mixtape from Lee Daniels to go back on fucking on Dame Dash. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, before we go forward, I just want to make it absolutely clear. When it comes to the Tribe Called Quest, they're cool.
You heard it here.
I feel like we need to be clear. I don't want to be exactly. I don't want motherfuckers to be like, oh, this dude beefing with it. Nah. I just
you're gonna be at the motherfucking 7-Eleven. You're gonna be at the motherfucking 7-Eleven in Grand Puma, because you know Grand Puma ain't doing shit. Grand Puma's gonna roll up on you.
Nah, you know what is gonna happen. You know what's happening?
No, shit, young man.
No.
Are you talking about my Tommy Hilfiger?
You know what, D? You know what's gonna happen, D? Fucking Q-Tip is gonna retweet our episode on this shit, and then DM us like, I heard that motherfucker was talking about us. Give me his Twitter name, and it's like, hey, I don't know his Twitter name, dude.
You got it right. Who's that dude that was making making fun of me? Nigga, ain't you like 54, man? You don't need to be beefing with nobody.
And then end the phone call with, that's why you didn't get a Grammy nomination. Bye. Click.
Wow.
That was him. That was it. I didn't say that.
Hey, I make this very clear. Hey, real talk, Q-Tip. Vibrant Thing may be one of the most underrated club hits of all time.
You know what? I'll give you that.
Yes,
remember
it was.
When that came out?
Yeah,
people
it was.
were playing that all the time. On, like whenever they were doing on the radio shows and people need something to talk over, people use that beat all the
MTV used that for fucking cribs a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that might have like if you know how we now count like if you use the song on Instagram, then it counts as like being a played or whatever in Billboard charts. Like if they had done that, but with like songs being used in the background on MTV episodes, like that shit would have been a #1 fucking
quadruple
song.
platinum already off
Dude.
the break.
I will say this also: "Breathe and Stop" is criminally underrated too. Even
yeah,
though
Breathe and Stop, that was the video. If I ain't mistaken, didn't
actually it was more
isn't
so
that-
the video than the song.
actually, if I ain't mistaken, wasn't that the video that Q-Tip had? He had a porn star on that video.
Yes.
Which one?
Lucy Pearl.
Oh,
Really?
huh.
She
man.
was okay. Oh, all right. Well, okay. The last thing I want to say, and then I'm going to switch the subject to this because I do want to talk about this. Basically, yeah, Tribe Called Quest are cool. I just think lyrically they ain't that nice, especially compared to who was popping, who was slinging lyrical swords at the time. You know what I'm saying? But moving on, let's talk about video models. All right,
All right,
man.
Yes.
they come a dime a dozen, but please go ahead.
But no, have you ever watched a music video and just was like, oh my god, I had a fucking crush on that girl? Like, what? And be like, what happened to that girl? Because here's the thing, music videos, they don't have credits, they don't tell you who's who. So back in the day when you watched a music video and you saw someone that was fly, you were just like, I just hope I see that video again because I'm never gonna see that woman ever again. Like they didn't tell me a name or nothing.
Nope.
That happened a lot. I had a lot of
has
music video crushes.
D has been searching for that girl in the doing the video with LL Cool J. She was inside like that little strip club jump.
Man.
I've been trying to find her for all my life. I don't know where she at. I just believe that they made her I just believe they made her in a warehouse, and when they were done with the video, they turned her off, and she's.
You remember? Okay, this is so random. Do you remember that fly ass Asian chick from the ice cream video? No one? Okay.
Oh no!
You know what I'm talking about?
No, you did not bring that one up.
Am I wrong though?
No, you ain't wrong. You are not wrong.
I'm like, who was that?
I'm like, that's another one that just disappeared.
I gotta put this out to the world. If anyone knows, I just need a name, man. Just for nostalgia's sake at this point.
Me and DJ Stu the same way. This actually kind of fits because it actually technically was a long ass music video. Me and DJ Stu have been trying to find a girl in the belly video in the belly movie that was a front of DMX clapping her butt cheeks. We've been trying to find her.
You know what?
Since 1999, we have been trying to find shit.
Come to find out, she's working in fucking damn Burger King and shit. And it's like, damn, she managed
Working
Burger King.
at Burger King about. She managed a Burger King outside of Texas.
Like, wow.
Wait, hold up. I'm gonna send you the video, right? The video, in case there's anyone who does not know, just so you have the link, and then go to 141.
Hold up.
Oh god, I gotta see this shit.
Live, people. This is happening. Hey, this is.
Which video is this? That's a question. Which video is this though?
Ice cream.
Oh, Raekwon's.
I know.
You said.
Oh,
you said go to 1 minute and what?
1 minute and 41 seconds.
1 minute 41 seconds. I think I know who you're talking about now, man.
Oh. See, I'm about to say.
Whatever happened to that chick?
Okay, for a hot second.
Whatever happened to her? That has to be a model. She has to be a model because I've seen her somewhere else.
For a hot second, like if she didn't turn her face, I would have thought that was Kimora Lee for a minute.
I was thinking the same way, but that ain't Kimora. That's not Kimora, man.
Nah, because she's half black. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, but yeah, man. All right.
Okay, now I'm.
Oh shit! Wait,
video.
hold on a second. So, I think had she not turned her head at that moment, I would have thought that was Mika Tan.
Ooh.
Of course you would think that was Mika Tan wasn't out that hard back.
Yeah, no, she wasn't on the scene till like '99. And yes, I do know a lot about my porn history.
I mean, thank you. No, because hey, Rap Critic, back me up on this.
Okay.
In Biggie's video, I think it was One More Chance. there is an Asian porn star that was in that video.
Hey, let me see. Hold on.
I'm trying to remember who it was, but I know she was in it because it's in her freaking Wikipedia.
Wow. That was a milestone day for her, man.
Okay. There was actually so this kind of goes back to 2003, 2004. You know, young Rap Critic is, you know what I'm saying? He's listening with his little ears of what's going on in the hip hop world, you know, and there's a lot of hip hop and there seems to be a lot of intersection with sexuality and porn. And so, especially with the video vixens, you know what I'm saying? So I remember there was this video that came out and it was like, you know, the life of a video vixen, you know, and of course I want to watch it because I'm 10. It was my favorite part of the fucking videos. All right.
Side note,
propaganda. Like it worked. All right.
Side note, I had to put this out there. Melissa Ford actually recovered from her accident. Just putting that out there. Yeah, did I put that out there because a lot.
Good news, you know.
Yeah, very good news because I was all like, I think we were reporting the podcast when it happened. I was like, oh shit, Melissa Ford got in an accident. Fuck, that sucks.
Okay, so I'm watching this this documentary, hip hop documentary. It's about video vixens, and at one point there's an Asian model on there, and her name is Asia, and I was like, I know her from the internet, and she has done more than just model in music videos because I recognize that back tattoo, and that was the first time my mind was blown that like porn stars could interact with hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, wait. We can cross-pollinate genres of things like this.
Brian Pumper showed us the way, sir.
Hey.
Oh my god, that cross the genre. See that dumbass fucking video.
Hey, Rap Critic, I found out who it was.
Oh,
Leonie Lay.
Oh shit!
Oh,
nigga.
Wait.
Yo, she's the fucking softcore porn star.
She was in the One More Chance video.
Yeah, she is definitely of the softcore variety, sir.
Okay.
I can appreciate that.
I'm about to say softcore.
And then because it was around that time, who else did we get? Snoop Dogg doing his getting the porn director on with the Girls Gone Wild. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
No, Rap Critic. I'll one up you on that one. You talking about the Girls Gone Wild shit? No, fuck that. Do y'all remember Snoop Dogg's doggy style porno video with Obsession?
Yup.
Man.
That launched over 5 million faps.
And let's just be real here. This was the porno promotion for the East Siders album.
Yeah. Actually, shit.
I remember a couple years.
Genius now that I think about it.
No, it is. It is.
That shit was genius as fuck because, bruh, why did they shoot? Let's be real here. Why the hell did they shoot? What was that song? It was off the East Siders. It was off the East Siders' first album.
Single, but it was
no. It wasn't the first single. It wasn't the first single. It was the other song. It was a song because it had him. It had Trey D and Goldie Logan. Butch Cassidy was on it. God, what was that song? Doghouse. That's what it was. It was the song Doghouse. Dog, they filmed that shit in his house.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Trey D crip walking in the man's living room. Come on.
Hey, yo, me and DJ Sue, we talked about the West Side the East Siders movie. First off, and that movie was.
Oh my god, that fucking
hella terrible.
Wait, hold up. Can we talk about that movie for a second? Oh, yes. Yeah, I looked up the East Siders album. It says most of the songs were performed live on Hustler's Rap Porn compilation, Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style. Yup. It was cross promotion. And then, Snoop Dogg really was a genius because you had the album, you had this porn tape, and on top of that, there was the movie, The East Siders, the fucking horrible film East Siders, with the dudes' names. I swear to God, look up the movie East Siders, and I want you to tell me.
No, we've podcasted on that, sir.
You know,
we've already done it.
Snap, crackle, and pop.
Crackle, and pop.
And they don't make it clear. They just every now and then, they say the character's name, yo, Snap, and then da-da-da-da, and the movie goes on, like, hey, yo, Crackle, and I'm just like, wait, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
It doesn't hit you, and it doesn't hit you. No, you be saying, wait a minute, and then here comes Snoop, and they call him Pop. I Never. I straight up, I was like, wow. Like, wow. Like,
They really did that. and you know what?
How dare you?
They still wanted you to think this movie was fucking cool.
I will say this.
Hey, hold on, real quick. Hey, DJ Sue, if I'm mistaken, didn't somebody die via getting choked out by
by the window? That was Trade E.
Wait,
that
what?
was Trade E. Yes,
Trade's character is okay. His character in the movie gets killed by Snoop. No, not even Snoop, because Snoop pulled the Scarface. He had his homeboy push the button for the power window to choke him out.
I forgot.
And it actually did.
See,
So-
Rap Critic, you gotta understand something. Back in 2003, I used to spend a lot of time hanging around my hometown area, right? So I always used to go to the video stores and look for like random movies that I could just buy off the cheap. And I found inside the freaking bargain bin the Eastsiders movie. I took that shit home. I sat and watched it, and all because I was a huge fan of Snoop and the Eastsiders, I thought this was probably one of the most hilarious hip hop movies I ever watched in my life. I watched that movie several times.
So I have a similar sort of story, except my mom had a subscription to Blockbuster when that was still popping, and of course, you know, if you got Blockbuster, you're there all day. You're not just gonna rent all the Blockbuster movies. Nah, you're gonna be like, hey, what's with this direct-to-video bin? Snoop Dogg's in a movie. Let me get this. Let me rent this for my child. And yes, that did happen. My mom decided to rent me the movie. What was it? Adventures on the Blue Carpet Treatment.
Oh,
and I remember
boy.
because she was just like, this movie is Snoop Dogg. You like hip hop? Check it out. And I remember just watching this and be like, Mom, why did you think I would like this?
Oh, you like rap?
Yeah, it was really just like, wow, you really just. I mean, of course I'm gonna watch it because it's fucking Snoop Dogg, but still. And the Eastsiders was another one of those movies.
You know what? I gotta say something here. You know, we talk about beefs and stuff. Has there ever been such a lopsided beef whenever somebody tries to beef with Eminem?
Man.
Yeah, there was quite. I can name one for you, CJ. I talked about this earlier before we started recording, and I want to know if you remember this. Do you remember Eminem's nothing beef with Everclear?
Oh,
Yo,
dude, that was a thing.
Did Eminem just exclusively beef with people who weren't good? Like, what the fuck?
It was more like slights. It was like he might take somebody's lyric as a slight. I think Everclear was a case of a misunderstanding. And
No, it wasn't.
I thought it was.
No, the fuck it wasn't. Dude made a song. He made a country song talking about how he never disrespect his mother.
And see, that's
And
how
that was
that's how
clearly
you do stuff
Eminem.
like that. He made a country song, nigga.
He made a
He
country
made a
song.
country song
He
coming out of rap.
clearly was aiming that shit at Eminem. Eminem heard it, got on the freaking hit him up beat, and clapped back at him. So
who else did he
unnecessary.
beef with?
And then a wild Fred Durst appeared and got washed.
Hey, right. Fucking Fred Durst, Vanilla Ice, Everclear. Like, you didn't even go at the good white rappers. Like, what is this?
You know what? I liked how somebody tried to start beef with, not even try to start beef, but somebody tried to start something between Eminem and fucking Bubba Sparxxx. And I was like,
Sparxxx was like, what happened? I didn't do anything.
Bubba
It's like, yeah,
one
you
day,
guys
like,
are
man, I'm
getting
just trying to enjoy. He was like, man, I'm just trying to be mediocre and sell a couple of records, man.
I got these. Yo, but you know what? I love Bubba Sparxxx because he was like, you know what? I'm gonna enjoy these fucking Timberland beats and get my money and then dip.
Yeah,
look, I got this hot song, Miss New Booty, coming out. Shit's going to
Nigga,
catch on like wildfire.
That shit fucking caught like fucking hot fire.
Okay, and first,
angry, bro.
And one thing, I'm sorry, real quick. I just got to point this out there. With the Miss New Booty video, since we talking about whatever happened to like video girls, I want to know what happened to the white girl with the jean, like a white girl who's rocking the denim suit, and she was thick as hell.
I remember the jeans. I do not remember the face, and I feel so horrible for that. But you'll have to excuse my 14-year-old brain at the time.
No, but I agree. Every chick that was on that video was just showing off how they got the product, and all of a sudden they got ass.
Yeah,
and this was right.
I wouldn't even diss myself for that because the camera specifically was showing their.
It was. And you gotta remember when it got to the white girl, this was around the time when white girls were on the come up.
True. White girls have butts too. Like that was sort of becoming a thing.
That was the thing. They were on the come up real quick.
I'll never forget that shit, man.
Okay, Bubba Sparxxx.
Yeah.
Bubba Sparxxx though, because I used to like Bubba Sparxxx. His first 2 albums, he was fucking with Timbaland, and he wasn't like he was the second, maybe third tier white rapper that you knew about. And it was just like, all right, I know he's not gonna have the big hits, but he's gonna hold it down. He fucks with Sleepy Brown. He fucks with Timbaland. He's got the right hip hop people behind him that make you believe that he actually gives a shit about the culture, right? Exactly. And I remember Back in the Mud Again, that was a jam. Ugly, that was a jam because it was just like,
Ugly was good. I love Ugly. Man.
Hey, there's white boys in the same country and we listen to the same music too. You know what I'm saying? Now. It was kind of like I didn't know how to feel about literally in the video how they just showed the beat flip between that song and Get Your Freak On. And it was just like, yeah, I did just basically change nothing about these 2 beats and make 2 hit songs. The fuck is anyone going to do about it? I'm Timbaland.
I'm Tim Mosley, god damn it.
But Joe, I think we spent enough time.
Oh wait, I got some more for you.
Okay.
Okay, I got another rap beef. All right, do y'all remember the rap beef between? Oh God, I just thought about this, and this was a real silly one. It was. Pick a good one because I want one from Chris and one more from me. So pick a good one. All right, trying to think. Oh no, okay. Whether this was good or not, this is just one that I remember. Do you remember KRS-One versus Nelly versus Chingy versus Luda?
How KRS versus the world?
Because
no, I'm not even talking. No. This was more of like a transitional thing. It was KRS versus Nelly, and then it was Nelly versus Chingy, and then it was like Chingy versus Luda at one point.
Oh,
it was a domino effect,
right? It was there was a chain. What is it? There was a fucking beef. Yeah. It was just like one thing got affected, and then it just rippled to the other one. Okay, so KRS-One. I have to say, even for someone who was a super fan of KRS-One at the time, because that was when I was going through my underground rap is better than the mainstream. That means, everyone has it. Admit it.
Yeah. Everybody does it.
And I remember even like as a KRS-One fan, I was like, wait a minute, that's the origin of this beef? Because the whole thing was KRS-One has this thing where like, oh yeah, every year I make a rap beef. I make a disc record for the top 5, selling rappers at the time. Not to diss him, just to keep myself sharp. And I really think he just needed an excuse to let loose one from the chamber. Because the whole reason why this beef started, and allow me to explain, Nelly came out with a song called Number One.
Yep.
It was on the Training Day soundtrack.
And the Madden soundtrack, whatever year that Madden came out.
What does it take to be number 1? 2 is not a winner, and 3 nobody remembers. That's dope. That was just dope.
That shit went.
That was one of the songs. Yeah, I remember actually that was one of the songs that made me Ludacris. Nelly, because I always fuck with Ludacris, but with Nelly because he was kind of down, baby, down, and I'm like, all right, that's cool, But when he made that, I was like, you had the guitar and all that shit. Shit sounded kind of epic in my young ears, And so I was kind of fucking with it. Now all of a sudden, KRS-One is like, oh. You think you're number 1? Well, I made a song in 1987 called I'm Number 1. And I apparently own the patent on that fucking number in hip-hop, so that's why I'm dissing you. Are you serious?
Hey, Chris?
Yeah.
This is why D mentions KRS-One anytime I want to mention bitter, salty, or petty. This is why I mention it. Because that beef simply came out of necessity for KRS-One, because KRS-One to me is one of those people, like if I don't use it, I lose it. And I understood at that time, like you said, when he was really putting out a lot of these records, which I will say this, as much as I'm not a fan of him, I think his underground work in the late 90s into the 2000s was pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody really talks about it. Nobody really talks about it. I'm not saying that it's like, you know, I'm not saying like it's Cuban links or anything like that. I'm just saying that it will surprise you that KRS-One was putting out shit like that. So it felt like, number one, this was beneath him. And number two, it also felt like, hey, I hope Nelly goes on you and actually mention that you have not had a hit record in such and such time. And to give Nelly his credit, that Band-Aid wearing motherfucker said you haven't had a hit since the invention of the cordless mic. And I literally died when he said that. You let Nelly, of all people, hit you with a tiger knee. You deserve it. You deserve that. And I got to be real. Outside of outside of respecting my elders and respecting who built hip hop, I don't go that deep with my hate with KRS-One. But real talk, fuck you. You deserved it. You really deserved it.
You asked for it.
And then going after Chingy, that just feels like fish in a barrel. It's like low-hanging fruit there, man. It's like, what's Chingy going to do?
I like how Chingy has just disappeared and became one of the weirdest people that's trying to put out an album. You know nobody's going to buy that shit.
Well,
now
Chingy was probably the greatest example of a misunderstanding. See, Nelly made that. No, he just said a line. I like the way you do it, like right there. Like he quoted him. Chingy felt some type of way and got mad at him and made a diss record.
I started the first. Really? Is that what this beef is over? You know what? NWA were beefing over fucking money. Fucking, I was not paid and I did such and such amount of the work. And if you're not going to pay me, then fuck you, I'm bouncing. That's a beef, motherfucker.
Over a word in a dictionary, it's like,
and then how did they, and then what was it that they said to Homeboy when he left? What are you going to do? Go solo? Yeah. Good luck with that. America's Most Wanted was an album that sold like gangbusters.
And Death Certificate, can't forget about that.
And then he only went on to sell more, like because people
keep in mind,
Ice Cube actually had a bit of a fucking career for himself. For someone who was making like gangster rap, you know what I'm saying, stuff that doesn't usually hit the top 40 charts, he actually did pretty fucking well for himself.
Now, if I am mistaken, though, Rap Critic, and tell me if you agree with this, it was between, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was between Death Certificate and Lethal Injection that there was a divide amongst fans because one album had like the whole social political stance that he was doing for his first couple of albums, and then he switched it up and went into like full on gangster rap mode.
Yeah, that would be Lethal Injection when that happened. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny, and I mentioned that to you when we was talking about that not too long ago. Sue, those are some weird, oddly good problems to have. That your fans is like. You know what I mean? It's like your fans love you for your gangster shit, which was me when I was a kid. I ain't gonna fake. But now that I'm older, yes, I appreciate all the revolutionary and really dark-broken lyrics that he said before. So yeah, those are oddly enough good problems to have as a rapper to me, man.
But here's my thing.
No, wait, if I remember correctly, sorry about that. It was America's Most Wanted, Death Certificate,
yes.
The Predator,
and
then Lethal Injection.
And no, what I mean is the divide was at Lethal Injection. Because
which was like one of my favorite Ice Cube albums.
Really?
I love Lethal Injection.
Because one of the big songs I remember people saying was the big divide was Gun, One Nation. I think that was like the lead single or whatever.
I fucking love that song. Are you serious?
People were not fucking with it. It was not fucking with it. And I remember listening to him being like, yeah, it does kind of feel like Ice Cube, yeah, it's gangsta funk, but it's not really...
It ain't him.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it only continued with the War and Peace album.
Yeah.
I mean, are there any songs from that people go like, yep, that was definitely a classic? Remember Mr. Short Chop, who had the K, so you didn't really know how to pronounce his name?
If I'm not mistaken, if there was anything that came off of War and Peace, didn't You Can Do It come from that?
That's true. But okay, I confused that one because that one was also on the Next Friday soundtrack.
It was.
Yep.
He put it on that soundtrack.
Yeah. And Hello. I started
Hello.
this gangsta shit, which I didn't like that song because that kind of felt like a please don't forget us sort of thing.
The one thing I felt about that song about Hello is, even though I have no problems with it, I have no real problems with it. I guess the only nitpicky problem I can throw at it is y'all waited way too late to put this shit out. And you know what? I really have a feeling there's some lore to that. I really have a feeling they were gonna make that song and put that shit out if Eazy-E didn't get sick.
Yeah.
All right, I have one good way to end this, and this will be a good last beef to talk about, because for me, it was one of the most wildest things I have ever seen that happen in a rap beef, and that was between Game and 50.
Woof.
And what makes this wild is,
right. Oh, this is a good one. Yeah.
I'm just going to skip to the end, basically, because what made it wild for me is when they forgave each other. Now, I'm putting that in parentheses.
Which time?
Thank you. Because I remember the second time it happened, Cameron said something that stuck with me since then. He said, "So what do you?" I forgot who it was. It was probably Flex or somebody. I forgot who it was. I think it was probably K-Slay, but I don't remember. Speaking of which, y'all remember DJ K-Slay? Just had to throw his name out there.
Of course,
I feel that people forget about K-Slay. But anyway, K-Slay, I think it was him. But he said, "What do you think about 50 and Game? They cool with each other." And Cam laughed and said, "One of y'all niggas gonna realize that rap and rap beef is like the WWE. It's exactly like the WWE."
Wow. Yeah.
And
shit.
Every beef I've seen since then has had this aesthetic where somebody's trying to make money and the other person is not. And ever since Cam said that, it has thrown my perspective of beef so weird or so off. Because
I think ever since Tupac and Biggie, I'm of the personal belief that a lot of people they're like, all right, how can we monetize this shit without actually having anything go wrong? And I think one of the biggest examples of that was 50 versus Kanye.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like 50 and Kanye sat down, had a couple of drinks, and were like, yo, I got an idea that we could both sell records. How about we act like we're beefing at each other, and then da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? Because, 50 lost by only going platinum. Like, what the fuck? Like, no, they both made out like fucking bandits.
Exactly.
Remember, and it's funny how Kanye and 50 can sit down and come to that conclusion. Remember when Jim Jones tried to do that with Cameron and 50?
Yeah.
That shit failed miserably in his face.
Because here it is. Chris,
Yeah.
one of my best friends.
Yeah.
If you are fucking with some random person over there, and I don't like random person, you're going to be like, yeah, fine. We can't, that's my nigga. I can't fuck with you with that. But then you come out of nowhere like, look, man, we could all be friends. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. And it really depends on the extremities of how bad it is, too. That's the thing, too.
Oh, my God.
So
and that's the thing that killed me about that. I laughed at every rap beef since then. Because it's almost a true thing, and I hate that, and that's what upset me about Remy and Nicki so much, because I was like, here's Remy over here who pretty much destroyed Nicki. She went at her. It was flawless to me.
Yeah. The
thing that upset me was she wasn't doing that for notoriety. She was doing that for let y'all motherfuckers know this bitch is weak.
Yeah.
I knew nobody was gonna buy her shit, and I knew nobody was gonna buy her shit, and that's what hurt me, man.
Right.
So I look at it differently now, man.
Yeah.
And that's what made Drake and Pusha T so. I was so out of it. I didn't give a shit. I was so out of it.
We said
let's
it best.
look at it.
Yeah.
What was the reason behind the Drake and Meek beef? You didn't help me push my units.
Yo, I was like, with that one, I told everybody, stay out of it. Stay out of it. Drake's having a new album come out, And I know y'all like to clown on this nigga, but he sells, and he's going to get at least one banger on you before the summer's out. This always fucking happens.
Do you love me?
He got 3. You know, this year, he's had 3 #1 hit songs, despite the fucking beat, and maybe because of it.
Hold on. And we're not talking about the songs that he's in, that he's featuring on.
Right, right.
Scott New John. He's on Sicko Mode, which is my favorite song right now. But he's on Sicko Mode for him. He's on a track with Lil Baby. He has a whole lot of tracks that are in the top. And I told everybody this shit was going to happen. And what upsets me is that how many of y'all are going to buy the Push down? How many of y'all are going to buy the Push down?
And how many people were like, "Oh, Drake's over after this"?
Look, Drake is Teflon at this point.
Look, you've got to put it in perspective. Now, when I look at this, when I did my video, I just look at it like a boxing match. I don't think of it as like, oh, so and so is going to destroy his career. No, it's just purely in the realm of lyrics that this dude hit more with dope lines than this guy did. This is not this is going to cost you your whole career. Because like I said, Nicki may be kind of floundering right now, but if you had the choice, whose shoes would you rather be in, Nicki's or Remy's right now? Like, let's be real. Yeah. You'd rather be in Nicki. She may be number 2, but at least she's in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you ain't lying.
Meanwhile,
I hate to say it, but where's Remy's album? You know?
And I gotta put it out there, Chris. I told you, I stand by it. I don't know how it will happen. I mean it. I don't know how it will go down. But you know how all of Nicki's detractors were actually her ex-fans?
Yeah.
I see this happening to Cardi. I don't know how. I don't know what.
Cardi has a good PR
but
person.
I see this thing.
And if
she got a great. No, that's what I'm saying. Despite all that, I see it happening to her in some type of way, and I know it's going to happen.
The only way that's going to happen, Cardi would have to literally, because right now you got Azealia Banks like really being her.
How is Azealia Banks the thing? I don't understand this shit. I don't know nobody.
No,
I don't know nobody who plays her music.
Villain. You know more about her when you hear about the beef. Ain't nobody talking about, remember the new... No, every time I have heard about her in the past couple of weeks, it has been what happened on the set of Wildin' Out. It hasn't been,
man, that shit was... Put it this way, the shit on Wildin' Out was so hilarious and fucked up that they had to take... They told DC Young, hey, dog, man, you really hurt her feelings. You might want to step off the stage for a minute
and let her recover. Here's the thing. She said that it was a racial thing, right? Like, he's using all these racial things. It's like, but then when you replied, you were like, these black guys are da-da-da, and you're ignorant because you're black, and I'm only going to be hopping on white dick for the rest of my life. And so it's just like, but you're doing it too, so you're not better. And didn't you also make fun of Zayn Malik for his, like,
migraine-inducing? Bruh, it is migraine-inducing.
Your head explodes just like...
I don't know. Like I said, I know you make music. I don't know nobody who plays it. Who plays it? I feel like and it got to be people who are not in my circle. So I'm thinking, okay, so that's like teenage white girls and teenage white boys. I call bullshit on that. Who's playing your music?
Meanwhile, I'm sitting back like, so is I'm waiting patiently for Nicki to get petty and go after Doja Cat for no fucking reason whatsoever.
You know that's coming. You know that is coming.
The part of me that likes Nicki is so worn out. It's like, you ever have like a bad tire on a car that's like beat up and all that? That's my love for Nicki right now.
Her problem is the same problem with Busta Rhymes. She has never made, and this may sound controversial, but let me know, she has never made a demonstrably good or classic album. You know?
Is she in Rick Ross territory, basically?
You know, but hold on. Yeah. Rick Ross can say, no, you can pick out 3 of those and say Rick Ross did well, though.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
You can point out 3.
Okay, maybe, All right.
Hold on. We're not just gonna... We're not just gonna gloss over. Like what Rap Critic just said. I like that. I really like that.
I hate how Busta Rhymes have awesome singles but have nothing else. I hate that.
Yeah.
I feel that way about Missy too. I said the exact.
Oh man!
I have maintained that Missy is one of the greatest performers to. No. It's like she is not a great rapper, but she is. You know what? I'll give this. Actually, let me do this comparison. She is my Tribe Called Quest in the sense that I know she's not great, but it's the package that I like. Someone made a good point. Missy Elliott, her style is onomatopoeia. Because when you listen to her tracks, every couple of rhymes, there's like something that just like she just throws in. You know, Get Your Freak On, perfect example. Holla, ain't no stopping me. The copywritten, so don't copy me. Spit it out in your face. You know, like there's always like something happening in every couple of couple of beats that like messes up the flow. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Meanwhile, did anybody buy Daytona? That's all I'm saying. Did anybody buy Daytona? Probably not.
We listened to it on the podcast. You know, we gave it a fair shake.
Yeah,
we thought it was cool.
It was all right.
Yeah, and I feel like, I ain't gonna say it. Never mind.
It's like,
all right, you know what I'll say. I feel like the people who did like super big up, I think part of it was the politics of we're gonna take Drake down by really, really pushing Pusha T. You know what
hey, look, it is pretty obvious. It is sometimes that is pretty obvious at times, and nobody want to admit it.
Yeah, and while Pusha T is definitely on his lyrics and shit like that, it's like it's not a great album. I don't think it's like I said, it's not bad. It's just not like guys, the classic.
I mean, hey, look, I will say this.
So you mean? No, I got it. So you mean the last two Pusha T albums all over again, right? Where there's good tracks. There's good tracks. It ain't a classic album, though.
Yeah,
and that is my problem. You got me. Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean,
I like Pusha. I love Pusha.
And the question, can you even get mad because is that what they're trying to do? Are they really trying to make classic albums like that?
I mean, look, I will give him this. At least he spared us from an overly long album and made that shit 7 tracks. I'll give him that.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. He's not trying to be like fucking Migos, who decided to give us a 3.5-hour opus for some fucking reason for their Culture 2 album.
Why? You tell me why, Chris, because you're more of a Migos man than I am. Why?
Hey, look. I don't know other than Migos thinks that they can just do whatever. That's the only thing.
It's kind of funny. Their singles right now I don't like. Everything else that's not on the radio off of Culture I like.
Wow, I'm the exact opposite. I think all the singles are Stir Fry is gonna be the song they're remembered for. That I can just
it's their whoops. There it is.
It's just too unique and interesting and energetic of a song, and it's such. This is the type of song that people are going to go back and be like, wait, the rest of their discography didn't sound like that? Like, nah, really, it all just sounded like cold, same old methodical, like, trap music. You know what I mean? A lot of this stuff sounds the same. But, like, the big singles, I actually feel like they work. They're doing interesting, creative stuff with it. But I feel like they are stream jamming. That was my theory. They're just coming up with they're just throwing so many songs out there, and it's just like, well, one of these has to pop, and even if they don't, we're going to get a whole bunch of these songs on people's playlists because they all fit the going out for a night on the town sort of vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, well. All right, man. That's fucking enough, man. I'd like to thank Rap Critic for coming on here. Dude, this has been at least, 6 years in the making. So I am so glad you was on this show with us, man. Thank you so much.
Are we not talking about Black Klansman?
Oh, no. If we talk about Black Klansman, we could talk about it for another episode, to be fair.
Yeah. Because I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, okay.
And I would love to do it.
Yeah, we need to make sure everyone is abreast of the topic.
Okay. I already know you don't like it, so I'm waiting.
Nah, see, the glorious thing about our show is I don't mind differing views because we can keep it civil instead of, no, you suck, you can't. It's like, Jesus, dude.
You ain't black enough.
That's why I fucked your bitch. Matter of fact, hold on. I gotta make a call real quick.
Oh my god! But yeah, it was good having you on, man. This was great. This was awesome. This is definitely an extension of our talks from Wycomicon, definitely. So
I know. So for all the people that don't know everything about you, Rap Critic, go ahead, basically put out everything that's about you.
Man, you can hit me up on YouTube. Look up Rap Critic. I am the Rap Critic. I mean, I remember at first I hated the name because I felt like it wasn't creative enough. But I feel like now it's sort of like the definitive claim. I remember someone linked, it was like Daily Mail or something like that. They were like, YouTube's Rap Critic. I'm like, oh my God, I am YouTube's Rap Critic.
Yes.
But, yeah, type that shit up. Look me up on Patreon. It's Rap Critic on there. $1, you get to see episodes early. And I also, do requests and stuff like that. Going Off Podcast, also on the YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter. It's the Rap Critic. On Facebook as well. Just look up Rap Critic, man. I'm also doing music. I got some music that I'm going to be working on that'll be coming out in a few. And just keep the eyes on the Patreon, and you'll see what's going on with that. And that's what it is.
Cool.
Oh man, that was lovely, bro. That was lovely.
All right.
So that's it, man. I'm fine. Glad we actually got to have another hop. I'm actually glad we have another hip hop conversation, because the last one we had was about what?
The history of Rockefeller.
No, we had the history of Rockefeller. We had the
history of Rockefeller, of course, counting the hip hop movies that we did.
Well, no. Also, we did intertwine talking about Def Jam Vendetta games, and intertwine and talked about Def Jam as a label too at the same time. So that was a fun little episode.
Yeah.
I think the next one really and I would love for Rap Critic to be on at least one of the episodes where we do a hip hop movie. And I don't know which one it will be, because to be honest with you, I'm looking at Choices, because Choices is so bad it actually gets hilarious by midway, because they play it I love how blaxploitation-y these movies get. I just really do.
They really were like the modern incarnation of that.
They really are.
Style.
It's like, of course, the white cop is going to frame the black dude, even though the black dude still is a bad guy.
Listen. Any movie. I think last time we talked about Hot Boys, I was just ecstatic that we got a Gary Busey in the movie. I was like, oh shit, Gary Busey's in it. Yes.
I'll tell you something, Master P. Back when I was in 9.
It's like, I don't want to hear this.
Fucking, wait, who's talking to Master P? Fucking Gary Busey's having a conversation with Master P. What the fuck is going on right now?
Man, back in Grenada in 1975, right? I was down there, me and my buddy, we was getting shot upon. So I said to myself, let's go to those motherfuckers and shit on their face. So this we did. So we got over there, made sure we ate everything. You listen to me, P? All right, so.
P's like,
Yeah.
Speaking of which, this nigga over here, Chris, is so pussy, he doesn't want to do the masterpiece about it. Why do you not want to see the masterpiece that is I'm About It?
Everybody in their mama. I worked at a video store, a mom and pop video store, where everybody in their fucking mama kept demanding that DVD, and it was out of print. And I had to back order it, and then no bullshit. One day, Joe looks at me like, "Did you order 6 copies About It?" I was like, "They were on back order. I didn't think they would ever come." And there's 6 copies, and I had to track down the people that ordered it, and they came in ecstatic, and I'm like, son of a bitch.
The fact that you had to track down people to get that shit.
The fact that people ordered it, and I was like, it's on back order, it will never come. And it's like,
that shit is on back order, though, man. That's made me laugh. That makes me laugh, man, of how back order is. You get...
Somebody at the distribution plant decided to print out 6 copies About It, and I'm like, son of a bitch.
It's insane how much Master P is still worth.
He saved his money. He saved his money.
Yep, he was smart with his money.
Man, how ow.
What's great about Master P? He made his son a celebrity, and his son did close to bullshit. Seriously, the most he did was a television show.
Yeah, because I remember it was Bow Wow and Lil Romeo. And Bow Wow definitely.
And Bow Wow won! Bow Wow won. On paper, Romeo should have won, but Bow Wow won. It's like, well, shit.
Hey, Rap Critic, just as a bullshit bonus, can we bring up a really, really stupid rap beef? Freaking Bow Wow and Soulja Boy.
God damn. That
happened.
That was.
You know what?
Much like Wale's album About Nothing.
Together?
Yes, they did. That was right after they did. What was it? Was that right after Bow Wow did that shit with Omarion?
Yeah, no, it was right now. No, remember, they were supposed to go on tour together. They were supposed to put out an album together.
I remember Big Ghostface was talking about him. He was like, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Robin. Robin.
You had Bow Wow and Soulja Boy.
No,
well past the time when anyone gave a shit about Bow Wow and Soulja Boy.
Dude, you know what? I've got to be real with you. There's a chance that could have worked. There is a chance that could have worked. But you gotta realize the whole crew was at oldest 22 years old. So none of that shit was going to go down the way you thought.
And then Soulja Boy ended up on Love and Hip Hop. Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
I mean, God, man, and now Bow Wow is this dude named Shad Moss. I don't know who's
trying to who I'm just like, yo, Bow Wow, just do your piece and shut up. Just please.
Wait, CJ, you mean he ended up on Love and Hip Hop and then got on Instagram and started beefing with Chris Brown and challenged him to a boxing match? God, you know what? We need to save all this for a part 2.
Yeah, actually.
I gotta say this one thing about Bow Wow. I like how Bow Wow did have that mixtape and everybody said it was pretty good, but it made Bow Wow seem like, yeah, man, I got a hoodie on. I'm older. I need to be fed. I'm
Stop it. Stop. When he was trying to be Nino Brown, I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
It.
Was it New Jack City 2?
Yes. Even though I never heard the mixtape, but I heard from people. They said for Bow Wow, it's pretty damn good. That's all I know. You be the judge of what that means, okay?
Hey, D, how about Bow Wow coming in with the most out of place lyrics on 3-6 side to side video version?
I love Bow. I look, man. Y'all gotta stop talking about my boy Shad Moss, man.
Look at
you. Y'all can't be going on
Exposed.
Him. Anyway.
You a fan?
I hate Bow Wow. Oh my God, Bow Wow is the Ray J of rap. I cannot stand him.
He's the Ray J of rap who actually had a decent movie career. Something Ray J will never have.
I can say that.
Hey, you cannot take Like Mike away from him.
I mean,
that
hurt.
Point.
See, y'all talk about me. That hurt, but that's true.
Anyways, that's it for us people. So we will catch you guys later. Peace out.
Peace, everybody.